There are moments in life when silence feels heavier than sound, when the air around you begins to breathe on its own, and the familiar turns into something unknown. This is not a story about ghosts or monsters. It is about the things we trust the most turning against us. It is about reflection, about the line between what is real and what is waiting just beyond the glass. Sometimes fear does not come from what we see, but from what sees us. And sometimes the scariest thing in the room is our own reflection, staring back and waiting to take our place. At first, everything feels normal, quiet and harmless. The mirror only seems to act strange for a moment, and then settles again. But that is how fear begins, softly creeping into the edges of your mind. You start convincing yourself that it is nothing, just a flicker of your imagination, or maybe the play of shadows in the dim light. But the feeling does not go away. It grows heavier. Night after night, every time you glance at the mirror, you feel as if something on the other side is waiting, watching, breathing. The changes are small, almost unnoticeable. At first, a faint sound, a soft pulse of fog, a whisper you can barely hear until the silence becomes unbearable. You begin to sense that the mirror is alive, that it is studying you with patience, feeding on your disbelief, until it knows you are too afraid to look away. And by the time you finally realize that what you are seeing is real, it is already too late. There comes a moment when the mirror stops being just an object and turns into something alive, something breathing, something aware. The surface that once reflected your face with cold stillness begins to change it, ripples softly, as if it were made of water. But when you reach out, your fingers do not touch glass anymore. They meet warmth, a pulse, a heartbeat beneath the surface. It feels wrong, yet disturbingly human. You pull your hand away, but the mirror responds, leaving behind a faint imprint that looks like a hand pressing back from the inside. Slowly, the reflection begins to twist. What was once your face now bends, stretches, smiles when you do not. It starts to mimic emotions you never showed, and movements you never made. The mirror is no longer showing you, it is showing something that wants to be you. The thin line between your world and its world begins to blur, and in that blur you feel the air grow heavy, as if both realities are struggling to exist. At once the glass trembles like lungs trying to draw breath, and you realize the mirror is no longer an object of reflection, but a doorway of flesh and fear. Once the mirror takes notice of you, there is no turning back. It becomes something that follows you. Even when you try to look away, every reflection feels connected to it. Every piece of glass, every drop of still water seems to breathe in sync with that one cursed mirror. You start to feel its pull deep inside, like a thread tied between your heartbeat and its pulse. Sometimes you hear faint whispers when you walk past it, a soft voice that sounds almost like your own, calling you back, begging you to look again. You cover the mirror. You hide it. You even move it out of your room. But its presence remains. It finds you in the reflection of a window, in the glare of your phone screen, in the shadow that moves just a little too late. You begin to lose track of which reflection is real and which one belongs to the mirror. The line between you and it starts to fade. Your movements feel borrowed. Your thoughts no longer sound like your own, and every breath you take feels shared. You are not just being watched anymore. You are being mirrored piece by piece, until you can no longer tell if you are the one looking into the glass or the one trapped behind it. Heaven, after you cover the mirror, the fear does not leave. It stays like a weight in the air, a silence that hums beneath every breath you try to sleep. But the sound of slow, rhythmic breathing fills the room, a steady inhale and exhale that is not your own. You tell yourself it is your imagination, but your heartbeat knows the truth. The darkness feels alive. It shifts, it listens. Every time you move, you start noticing small things that should not happen. The mirror rattles softly under the cover, the air grows colder near it, and sometimes the shape beneath the cloth rises and falls as if something beneath it is still breathing. You think about breaking it, but you cannot. Your hands freeze before they touch the frame. It feels as if the mirror already knows your fear and feeds on it. The more you ignore it, the louder the breathing becomes, spreading through the walls, the floor, Even the silence of your mind, it follows you in every reflection you pass by, a faint echo in the shimmer of water, in the shine of a window, in the gleam of your own eyes. The fear no longer needs the mirror. It has already found a home inside you. At first, you believe you still have control, that you can walk away and forget the mirror ever existed, but slowly you start to notice changes in yourself, subtle at first, but growing stronger each day. Your reflection no longer moves exactly when you do. Sometimes it hesitates, sometimes it smiles when you do not, and sometimes it stares back at you long after you have turned away. You begin to feel detached from your own body, as if someone else is moving your hands, speaking through your voice, breathing your air. The face in the mirror becomes a stranger, familiar, yet wrong. Its eyes seem deeper, darker, filled with thoughts that are not yours. You start to forget small things. The sound of your laughter, the way your voice used to feel when you spoke, the warmth of your own skin. It is as if the mirror is slowly draining your essence, absorbing what makes you human, replacing you with something that only looks like you. The people around you notice the change. They say you seem distant, hollow, your smile empty, your eyes unfocused. But you cannot explain what is happening, because you no longer know who is speaking. You become the reflection, while the thing inside the mirror becomes you, walking free, breathing your life, while you fade quietly into the glass. Even after the mirror is covered, the feeling does not fade. It clings to the air like a shadow that refuses to lift. The breathing that once came from the glass now echoes through the walls, through the floor, through every corner of the room. It becomes a rhythm that follows wherever you go, quiet during the day, but loud and alive in the darkness. You try to escape it. You move rooms, you avoid mirrors. You even break every reflective surface you find, but the sound remains. It hides in the smallest reflections, the shine of your phone screen, the glint of a doorknob, the shimmer of water in the sink. You start realizing that it does not need the mirror anymore, because it has already learned you. It knows your movements, your habits, your fears. It breathes when you breathe. It watches when you blink. And sometimes you can feel it inhaling, just a second before you do, as if it is guiding the rhythm of your life. The air feels heavier every night, and you begin to wonder if the breathing is really following you, or if it is coming from inside you. Your reflection becomes everywhere and nowhere all at once. You catch glimpses of yourself in places you should not, in the corners of your eyes, or in the darkness just behind your shoulder. It is no longer just haunting you, it is existing with you. The mirror has become a living memory that refuses to die, and even if you forget its sound, it will not forget yours. In the end, everything becomes painfully clear. The moments of denial, the nights of fear, the whispers that once felt distant were never in the mirror at all, they were inside. It is not about glass or reflection anymore. It is about connection, something unseen that crossed over. When the mirror first breathed, the sound that once came from the surface now lives within the air, within the heart, within the rhythm of every breath. The mirror is silent now, but the silence feels alive. It is the kind of stillness that listens, that waits. The narrator begins to sense that they are no longer entirely themselves. Small things feel different, their heartbeat slower, their breath slightly out of sync, their reflection gone from some places but lingering in others. The thought strikes them that maybe the reflection was never trapped. Maybe it has already crossed over and taken its place in the real world. Every sound feels heavier. Now, every moment of stillness feels like the mirror's breath, still echoing through their body. They start to realize they can no longer remember the last time they saw their true face. The one in the mirror was not them, and yet it was all that remains. The breathing continues in perfect rhythm, not from behind the glass, but from within them, a quiet reminder that whatever was on the other side is now awake and alive, and will never stop breathing. And now, when the lights fade and the room falls silent, you can still feel it breathing somewhere close. A quiet rhythm, matching your own. You try to tell yourself it is nothing, just the sound of the night, just the echo of your imagination, but deep inside, you know the truth. Some mirrors never stop watching, and once they have seen you, they never forget your face.